Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Let's talk about a battle of continents that's coming up. Harsha briefly mentioned it, and it looks like it's going to be a spicy contest because West Indies are just coming off a not very enviable performance in the warm-up games. South Africa too haven't exactly been the South Africa we know in the past. So it'll be two teams out to prove a point. How would you best describe the start of that game, Harsha?
And it would also be both teams with a fear that if they lose this game, their campaign's going to be quite a long way back, because you've got to win at least 3 games. If you've lost 2, then you're down in the dumps. And especially for South Africa, they try and tell themselves, you know what, we played a close game against Australia. I think it became a close game because neither side was good enough to make it an easy game. And I never thought I'd say that about Australia and South Africa, with 2 great sides currently playing. I'm not saying they're bad sides. I'm not saying they're playing badly. I mean, currently they're not playing to their best ability. They gave us a close but ordinary match from that point of view, purely from terms of skill. But for the West Indies, it's even more critical. I think I said South Africa first. I think it's even more critical for the West Indies because they've got to bounce back from 55 all out, and they're showing a few weaknesses. I mean, they sleepwalked through their warm-up games, and we gave them the benefit of the doubt, saying, you know what, you can't read that much into warm-up games. But the manner in which they played, they almost suggested as if the ball's got no right to. If the ball comes onto the bat, we will hit through the line and keep on playing that kind of side. So I won't be surprised if Roston Chase plays. And everyone thinks, you're Roston Chase. Just talking to Darren Sammy up and down to the ground the other day, he said Roston Chase will do to this side what Marlon Samuels did to my side. In both 12 and 16, if you remember, Marlon Samuels had a great game. So I suspect Roston Chase will come into the side, maybe for Evan Lewis, for Lendl Simmons. Does Chris Gayle open? Does Chris Gayle open the batting again?
Well, that's a big question. It's a big question that was asked during the CPL, and I'm glad you mentioned Darren Sammy, because he not only rates Roston Chase high, but Roston Chase played a huge role in getting his franchise, the St. Lucia franchise, to the final. And very unlikely player. Thought of him as a test player. He wanted to prove himself as a T20 player, and he got into that side. The day the announcement happened, you should have seen the smile on his face, because it was hard work that got him there, Joy.
Yeah, but Gautam, he scored a strike rate of 140.
He 140
did, strike rate,
but he's still not regarded as a T20 player.
I think Western Chase walks in. One of the things that we were talking about, Match Party the other day with Bharat Sundaresan, is that this is a tournament for also, you've had matches like today, but you're also, most of the matches, if you see, there are players, every team has that player who's batting 12, 13, 14 overs. That one guy who's constant on one side, everyone else is hitting around him. And I think Pakistan executed it so well that they didn't lose a single wicket. But if you see it, other teams have also executed exactly like that. So have a Royston Chase there, have guys who are hitting around him. And either, I know Chris Gayle was the highest scorer, but the highest score there was 30 of 13 odd balls. So it's not just Lendl Simmons whose place could be in danger, it could be Chris Gayle as well. But I think bowling did enough to show that I think it deserves another chance. I think one of Lendl Simmons or Chris Gayle has to give way to a guy who's going to bat 13, 14, 15 overs and allow the others to bat around him while not trying to hit every ball out of the ground.
Yeah, I think as Joy said, just to finish off on the West Indies, obviously their bowling has done enough. You can't judge it by the score that the batsman put on, but with someone like Akil Hussain, not just with the catch that he took, but he is one of the big finds of West Indies cricket. And if Hayden Walsh can also try and find some form, and they have those wickets to allow them, then they'll be a formidable bowling side.
Yes, and Ravi Rampal is canny. A lot of these pitches are about taking pace off. I think Ubaid McCoy is a pretty decent bowler. So then you have Bravo as your third, Russell as your fourth. You can play 2 spinners with Akil Hussain and Hayden Walsh. Does that diminish the batting? I don't think so. If Bravo is down to come 7-8, then I think you're pretty good. The other day he went in because he wanted to break up all the left-handers. He went in because there were too many left-handers there. But otherwise, if you're playing 6 Pollard, 7 Russell, 8 Bravo, then I think you've got enough batting. Then doesn't matter what comes. Then you can't play Akil Hussain Hayden Walsh, Ravi Rampal, and Obed McCoy, all of them.
One of them.
Then if you want to play the two
Walsh
spinners,
misses out.
Yeah. So if you play both spinners, then either Obed McCoy or Ravi Rampal miss out.
Yeah, and of course
we also want runs from Puran, no? At some point, some point Nicholas Puran has got to score runs.
Yeah, in fact, of all the players that you mentioned, the one that raised the most eyebrows on the day of the selection was Ravi Rampal, because there were a couple of other names who got missed out, and well, once he's in there and he's shown that, I think it was horses for courses. The reasoning they gave on that day was...
These are his kind of conditions. This is exactly the kind of bowling he does. This is his pitch to a T. In fact, my only problem with this West Indies side is West Indies has always had at least 4, 5, 6 reasonably athletic fielders. This is not the West Indies fielding team that you normally see out there. It's just got 3, 4 just older legs. It's not as agile a field. They don't have as many gun boundary riders as they used to.
Yeah, I mean, look at it from... Dwayne Bravo's seen his best, Chris Gayle has seen his best, Ravi Rampal has seen his best, Lendl Simmons has seen his best. We don't know about Kyron Pollard and Andre Russell. So there's a lot of people on that side of the curve. Right from the beginning, I felt that, and I'd love to be proven wrong because I love watching that side, but I felt that maybe the West Indies could be the disappointment of this tournament. Love to be proven wrong tomorrow. Not that I want South Africa to lose, but I'd love to be proven wrong about the West Indies.
Yeah. Let's not forget they are the defending champions, but let's go on to South Africa, the one team who'd be dying to get their hands on a trophy at some point in time. And again, when you look at the captaincy, that's one of the areas where people look at relatively new to the job is Temba Bavuma. Are there enough names in there, particularly with the batting, that at least on paper cause tremors? We know there's quality in the bowling, Harsha.
Yes, especially because Rabada had a decent game again. So Rabada, Nokia, Shamsi, Maharaj. If they'd backed Rabada to bat at 7 or Maharaj to bat at 7, they could even have played Lungi and Giri. But now they've got to play that medium pace. And as it turns out in that close game, the last over from Pretorius turned out to be a little expensive. But they need something up there. They need something from Quinton de Kock. Rassie van der Dusen is a really good player, but he needs to take control. And David Miller just needs to re-switch his career and become the David Miller that we knew. So it doesn't look like there's a side that's saying there, come look at me. Or which is the batsman who's standing up there and saying, don't worry, Mehuna.
And I reckon, Joy, the person who says that, his name is Faf du Plessis.
And he's standing probably in Pretoria and wondering what the hell is going on. Absolutely, I fully agree with you. I mean, a batsman in that kind of gun form not being there as a part of this team and being there available for selection for whatever might have occurred. And I mean, Mark Boucher is a sensible man. I mean, they will definitely miss him. This is a very fragile batting side. I think it's an excellent bowling side. I think this bowling side really, and given the fact that Nokia and Rabada have had a pretty good run in this part of the world during the IPL, that gives them the fact that you already have very, very decent spinners. So this is a bowling side that is formidable. It's the batting that's, really letting them down. And the other thing you notice is they just don't have, at one time when you looked at the South African side, you'd say all-rounders. Brian McMillan, Jacques Kallis, you have lots and lots of all-rounders. Johan Botha. You have a side full of all-rounders.
Pollock, Klusner, Boyer.
Yeah, they were always chock-a-block with all-rounders. And that's what you're not seeing in South African cricket today. You're not seeing really good all-round cricket.